Mutual presents The Mysterious Traveler.
This is The Mysterious Traveler, inviting you to join me on another journey into the realm of the strange and terrifying. I hope you will enjoy the trip, that it will thrill you a little and chill you a little. So settle back, get a good grip on your nerves, and be comfortable, if you can, as you hear the story I call Death Writes a Letter. My story begins last summer in the townhouse of Martin Drake, a well-known financier. Martin is deep in argument with his older brother, John, as his daughter, Susan, enters the room unnoticed.
John, how can you possibly believe in such things? Spiritualism, nonsense is a better word for it.
To a skeptic, everything is nonsense. But if you'd seen and heard what I have, you too would believe.
Hello, Father. Uncle John.
Hello, Susan.
I see you two are up to your old arguments.
Well, your father's a very stubborn man, Susan.
Well, I may be stubborn, but I'm no fool. Imagine believing in spiritualism, telepathy, and all that tommy rot.
I believe in spiritualism, Martin, and that the living can communicate with the dead. And nothing you can say will swerve me from my beliefs.
Uncle John, in all these years you've been studying spiritualism, have you ever been able to communicate with Aunt Judith?
No, Susan, I haven't. But there have been times late at night when I've all but broken through the barrier that separates us.
Oh, I give up. There's no use in arguing with a man who has an obsession.
Oh, that's fine, Father. Now the three of us can go into supper.
Oh, I'm sorry, Susan, but I can't stay for supper.
Oh, why not?
I have an appointment with an honoricritic.
A what?
An honoricritic, a man who's an interpreter of dreams.
John, good grief, don't tell me you believe in that, too.
Why not, Martin? For years, psychoanalysts have interpreted dreams in an effort to help their patients. The subconscious minds of the living can sometimes bridge the vast gap of death.
Now, John, I'm warning you, if you don't give up this obsession of yours, there's no telling how you'll end.
I know you think I'm cracked, that all the years I've spent studying spiritualism have been wasted, but you're wrong. The living and the dead can communicate with each other, and someday you'll realize I'm right. Now, I really must be going, or I'll be late.
Well, Uncle John, you will drive up to the country with Father this weekend, won't you?
Oh, are you opening the summer place?
Yes, I'm driving up tomorrow to open the house and engage some servants.
Well, I'll try my best to join your father this weekend.
Oh, that's fine.
Don't bother showing me the door. Good night.
Good night, Uncle John.
Good night. To think that anyone in this day and age still believes in spiritualism, particularly your Uncle John, it's incredible.
I don't know, Father. Uncle John seems so sure of himself that sometimes I feel he may be right.
Oh, Susan, that's nonsense.
But look, Father, if it's all nonsense, why should Uncle John believe in it? You yourself have often said he's the most brilliant man you know.
And he is. It's just that, well, we all have our eccentricities, and John's is spiritualism. Until his wife died 5 years ago, he was just as sane as you or I. No living person has ever communicated with the dead, and none ever will.
Father, are you awake? Father?
The what? Oh, Susan, come in, dear, come in.
Oh, I'm sorry if I woke you, Father.
Oh, that's all right. What time is it?
It's just 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Well, what are you doing up and dressed so early?
I'm driving up to the country to open our summer place. Have you forgotten, Father?
Oh, yes, so you are.
Oh, didn't you sleep well last night, Father? There are circles under your eyes.
No, I spent a very poor night. I had a nightmare, but I can't seem to remember what it was about.
Oh, I'm sorry, Father. Tell me, is there anything I can get you?
No, I'll be all right, dear. You run along.
Oh, I need the keys to the car.
Oh, yes, you'll find them over there on my desk. And if you need any money, help yourself.
Oh, thank you, Father, but I have enough money.
Have you found the keys?
Oh, yes, here they are. Oh, do you want me to mail this letter on your desk?
What letter?
This one. It isn't addressed. All that's written on the envelope is one word. Urgent.
Urgent?
Yes, and it's in your handwriting, see?
Why, I never wrote that.
But, Father, it is your handwriting. And look, there are ink stains on your fingers. You must have written it before you went to bed.
But I tell you I didn't. Let me see that letter. Yes, that's my handwriting, all right.
Oh, Father, I'm leaving now. I want to get there by noon.
What? Oh, yes. Goodbye, dear. Take care of yourself.
I will, darling. Bye.
Urgent. And it's my handwriting, all right. But for the life of me, I can't remember. Well, let's see. Dear Martin. What the devil? A letter in my own handwriting addressed to me. Dear Martin. No. No, this can't be. It can't.
Martin, is anything wrong? I came as quickly as I could. You sounded so upset over the phone.
Dr. Warren, I'm afraid my mind is giving way.
You, Martin? You're the last person in the world to become unbalanced.
Well, that's what I thought until I read this letter.
Letter?
Yes, and it's in my handwriting, so I must have written it.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
When I woke up an hour ago, this letter was on my desk. I could see it was my handwriting, and yet I don't remember having written it.
You don't remember having written it?
No, and yet I must have. There are still ink stains on my fingers.
Martin, none of this makes sense.
Yes, I know.
What's in the letter?
I'll read it to you. Dear Martin.
Wait a minute. You mean it's in your handwriting, but it's addressed to you?
Yes, but it's signed with the name of my brother John.
Signed by John. In your writing?
Exactly.
You better read me that letter. Maybe then I can understand this.
Dear Martin, this letter will undoubtedly give you quite a shock.
But after you finish reading it, I'm quite sure you'll understand why it was written. After I left Susan and you a few hours ago, I went to keep my appointment with the dream interpreter I'd spoken to you about. It was shortly before midnight that I returned to my home. As usual, I found Martha and Paul waiting up for me.
Good evening. Good evening, Mr. John.
Paul, Martha, what are you doing up so late? I told you never to wait up for me after 10 o'clock.
Well, we worry about you. You know what the doctor said about your heart.
You should have been in bed an hour ago.
You both treat me as though I were a 6-year-old.
And sometimes you act like one. Well, I have a glass of warm milk for you in the pantry.
I don't want any milk.
It's good for you. Here, let me have your coat.
Oh, thank you, Paul. It feels good to be home, sitting in the chair before the fire.
Here's your warm milk, Mr. John. And I want you to drink it down without any arguments. After all, it's for your own good. Here, take. Mr. John? Mr. John?
Martha, what's wrong?
Oh, Paul. Mr. John,
Mr. John. Mr. John, answer me. He's dead.
Oh.
Now, please, Martha, please, you mustn't cry. The end came very quickly, peacefully. Now, there, Martha, there.
It came as quite a shock, Martin, hearing myself declared dead, but as I saw my earthly body sitting in the armchair by the fireplace, I knew it was true. John Drake was dead. I wanted to comfort Paul and Martha, make them understand that only the body of John Drake was dead, that the spirit would live forever. I wanted to tell them that I was indescribably happy, for I knew without knowing how that on the following day I should be reunited with my dear wife, Judith. Then my thoughts turned to you, Martin, and in one brief moment I saw your past, your present, and your future. Your future left me horrified, Martin, for in it I saw unhappiness and death. I felt that somehow I had to warn you of what the future held. I left the house I had died in and went to your home. The radio was playing. You were sitting in an easy chair reading a book, unaware of what the future held for you. Martin! Martin, you must listen to me! Martin, look up from that book you're reading. You must! But I couldn't reach you with my words. There was too great a distance between us. I stood by, helpless to aid you. A few minutes later, you yawned, closed the book, and turned off the radio. A half hour later, you were in bed and asleep. And then I suddenly had hope. I couldn't reach you while you were awake, Martin, but while you slept, Perhaps I could reach your subconscious, warn you about the future. I saw your desk with writing paper on it, and I knew that was the only way to reach you. I spoke softly, trying to reach your subconscious. Martin, listen to me. This is John. You must hear me, for it's a matter of life and death. You must do exactly as I say. I want you to get out of bed. That's it. Throw back the covers. Now put your feet on the floor. Martin, do as I say. That's right. Now go to your desk. That's fine. Now sit down. That's it. Pick up the pen that's on the desk. Martin, pick up the pen. That's right. You picked up the pen and began to write as I dictated. Everything up to this point explains how this letter was written. And now, the reason for it. In looking into the future, I was horrified to see that Susan would die the night of June 7th, 1947, at exactly 6 o'clock. That means you must act swiftly, Martin, for she has less than 24 hours to live. If you don't, she will be found frozen to death. As for yourself, I see you dying as the result of an accident in a small, roughly furnished room. In this room is a desk calendar, and the date it shows as you lie dying is September 3rd, 1947. Martin, the love I bear you and your daughter has reached out from another world to warn you against
the future. I pray that you will act upon this information and save yourselves. Your brother, John.
That's the most extraordinary letter I ever heard.
Well, what do you make of it, Doctor?
You sure this is your handwriting?
Certain of it. And then there are these ink stains on my fingers.
Yes. It's amazing.
It's obvious that I wrote this letter last night in my sleep. What upsets me is the content of the letter. The things I wrote are so fantastic that I'm afraid I may be losing my mind.
No. I'm quite sure you're sane, Martin.
Well, then how do you account for my writing such a fantastic letter even in my sleep?
Has it occurred to you that this fantastic letter, as you call it, may not be fantastic?
What? Now, Henry, you're not trying to tell me that you believe that this letter is true. That my brother John did die last night and came here to... Surely you don't believe in all that Tommy rot.
Then your explanation for that letter is that you wrote it while having a nightmare?
Well, of course. What other answer could there be? It's ridiculous to think that you, a man of science, could attach any credence to this letter even for a moment. You amaze me.
There have been many phenomena in history. Phenomena that never could be explained. Not even by science.
Oh, you're almost as bad as my brother. Soon you'll be telling me that you, too, believe in spiritualism.
Have you called up your brother this morning?
Why, no. Why should I have? Oh, you think he may have died last night as he wrote me in this letter? Doctor, I think you'd better see a doctor.
I suggest you call your brother.
Well, all right, I will, just to show you what a fool you are for believing even for a moment that there can be anything to this letter. Why, when John was here last night, he looked just as healthy... hello, Paul. This is Mr. Drake. Is my brother there? The what? Last night? After he returned home? I see. Thank you, Paul.
He is dead, isn't he?
Yes. Paul said that he died last night.
If your brother died last night, then this letter must have been written by him through your subconscious after...
No, that can't be. What you're saying is madness. The dead can't communicate with the living.
Yeah, but in this letter, your brother speaks of his death last night and goes on to tell
My
about...
brother couldn't have written that letter through my subconscious. Such things can't happen.
I wish I felt as certain as you do. What about this part of the letter? In looking into the future, I was horrified to see that Susan would die the night of June 7th, 1947, at exactly 6 o'clock in the evening. That means you must act swiftly, Martin, for she has less than 12 hours to live. If you don't, she'll be found frozen to death.
And that proves how fantastic the whole letter is. Today is June 7th, and outside it's like summer. How could Susan possibly be frozen to death?
I don't know, Martin. But if Susan were my daughter, I think I'd want to be with her tonight at 6 o'clock. You'd never be able to forgive yourself if anything would have happened to her. I'll go with you if you like.
Oh, very well. But mind you, I still don't believe that John wrote this letter through my subconscious. What time is it, Henry?
It's a few minutes after 6.
If we hadn't had the breakdown, we'd have been there hours ago.
How much further is it?
As soon as we reach the top of this hill, you'll be able to see it.
I wish we'd reached the house before 6.
Now, surely you don't believe what that letter says. How could Susan possibly freeze to death? Why, it's a warm evening. It's like summer.
Yes, I know, but just the same, I wish we'd arrived sooner.
Look, you can see the house now, down there in the valley. Susan's probably getting dinner. And we'll certainly look like a pair of fools coming up here because of that ridiculous letter.
I hope you're right.
Henry, Susan isn't in her room.
She isn't?
No.
Could she be in the village or visiting friends?
No. You're forgetting her car's parked in front of the house.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, where can she be?
I'm afraid I can't answer that.
I'll search the second and third floors while you search this floor in the cellar. She must be someplace in the house. Henry, where are you?
Down in the cellar, Martin.
I searched every room on the second and third floor, but I couldn't find a sign of her.
I found her, Martin.
You found her? Well, where is she? Susan.
You must prepare yourself for a shock.
Shock?
Martin, listen to me. I found her in the cold storage room, frozen to death.
No. She can't be dead.
But she is, Martin. From what I could make out, she turned on the freezing system full and then went inside to store some meats, probably right after she got here. While she was in there, the door slammed shut and locked her in.
Oh, Susan. If only I'd gotten here in time.
Martin, for weeks now you've been like this. Now you must get hold of yourself. You'll break down. You did everything you could to save Susan.
No, that's just it. I didn't. John reached me from beyond the grave to warn me about the future, but I merely laughed. Had I heeded his letter, Susan would be alive today.
But, Martin, you did try to get there in time. It wasn't your fault the car broke down.
Yes, but if I'd believed in the letter, I'd have hired another car and kept going instead of waiting for my car to be repaired.
You know, I've been thinking perhaps it was meant that your car should break down. That you should arrive too late to save Susan.
What?
Perhaps it was wrong of John to break through the barrier that separates the living from the dead and warn you of the future.
Well, how could it be wrong if it would have saved Susan?
Perhaps it was ordained that Susan was to die when she did. And that's why the car broke down.
No. I could have saved her if only I'd hired another car and rushed on to my country home. But at least now I can heed John's warning and save my own life.
Save your own life?
Yes. Have you forgotten the other part of the letter? As for yourself, Martin, I see you dying as the result of an accident in a small, roughly furnished room. In this room is a desk calendar, and the date it shows as you lie dying is September 3rd, 1947. Today is August 1st. That means I have less than 5 weeks to live, unless I can save myself.
But how can you save yourself, Martin? What's meant to be will be.
Not if I'm clever enough to take advantage of the information in this letter. Dying as the result of an accident in a small, roughly furnished room. Yes, but if John had only told me what kind of an accident it was meant to be. Well, nevertheless, come what may, I'm not going to die on September 3rd. Just a minute.
Hey, Martin, what's going on? I mean, what's the meaning of all those men around the house? Why was I searched before I entered the room?
Henry, do you know what the date is?
Well, yes, it's September 2nd.
Yes, and in a few minutes it will be midnight, and then it will be September 3rd.
Oh, yes, that's right. The letter.
In the letter, John warns me that I shall die of an accident in a small, roughly furnished room. Well, you'd hardly call this drawing room that, would you?
No, I wouldn't.
It's my intention to remain in this room until tomorrow is past. Now, Henry, would you mind keeping me company for the next 24 hours?
No, Martin, not at all.
See, I've taken every possible precaution to prevent an accident from occurring. I've removed everything from this room but that sofa, chair, and table. And I have food in here to last me for several days. I have guards around this house and outside this room to prevent anyone from entering for the next 24 hours.
It certainly sounds as though you've taken every precaution.
Yes, I've done everything I could think of. Henry, do you hear that? It's just midnight. September 3rd is here.
Martin, will you stop looking at your watch every other second?
I can't help it. One more minute and it'll be midnight. And when the clock in the hallway strikes, it'll be September 4th.
Yes, Martin, yes. Now, why don't you sit down and take it easy?
How can I at a time like this?
Martin, you must calm down. Think of your heart.
Only 30 seconds more, Henry. 30 seconds.
Martin, you're as white as a sheet.
Well, who wouldn't be? I'm cheating death. I'm going to live. Live, do you hear?
Easy there now. I can't help feeling it would have been better if John hadn't warned you about the future.
No, don't say that. If he hadn't, I'd have been dead by now. Henry, do you hear that? It's midnight. And I'm still alive. Alive.
For some weeks, Martin Drake was a sick man as the result of the strain he'd undergone. But with the coming of fall, he was well on the road to recovery. It was in late autumn that he invited Dr. Warren to go hunting with him in Maine. Day after day, the two men, with their guide, roamed the woods. The exercise and outdoor life did Martin a world of good, and he was soon his former self, both physically and mentally.
It seems to be getting much colder, doesn't it?
Yes, it feels very much like snow.
I think it'll hold off for a while yet. Would you like to do a little more hunting, Mr. Drake? We still got a couple of hours till it gets dark.
Yes, I wouldn't mind. How about you, Henry?
Well, by all means. Maybe we'll come across that buck we spotted this morning.
Yes, he was a big fellow. Where'd I put my rifle?
Here it is, Mr. Drake, under the tree.
Oh, yes, so it is.
Here's your rifle, Doc.
This rifle of mine...
Oh! Martin, what happened?
Good grief, he shot himself, Doc.
Martin, are you badly hurt?
The gun went off when I picked it up on my shoulder.
Easy now, while I have a look at it.
Oh.
Is it bad, Doc?
Oh.
No, not bad. We must get him to a shelter and stop this bleeding.
Ed Tolliver's place is about a quarter of a mile from here, Doc.
All right, give me a hand. We gotta get him there at once. Now, put him down gently on the cot.
Okay.
Easy now. That's it.
How is he, Doc? Think he'll pull through?
Yeah, of course. He just fainted from the pain and the loss of blood. Now, let's see.
Sure is a nasty wound.
Yeah. Fortunately, the bullet went on through his shoulder. I won't have to probe for it.
Oh.
What are you going to do to him, Doc?
Well, first I'll have
Henry,
to...
where am I?
Now, just lie still, Martin. We brought you to this shack where I can fix you up.
Oh, my shoulder hurts.
It'll be all right now once I get the bullet wound cleaned up. Pete, put my medical bag on this desk here. Open it, will you?
Sure, Doc.
Will you have to probe for the bullet?
No. Fortunately, it went right through. All I have to do is clean the wound. It may hurt a bit, Martin.
That's all right, Henry. Go ahead.
Maybe you better turn your face away from me so you won't see what I'm doing. Sometimes it's easier that way. Concentrate on the desk over there, huh?
All right.
Pete, hand me that tube of sulfur powder.
Yep.
Also the...
Henry!
What is it, Martin?
That calendar.
What calendar?
There on the desk. Don't you see?
Yes.
Do you see what date it has? September 3rd.
I guess that's the day Ed Tolliver went back to the city.
September 3rd.
Oh, Martin, you mustn't get excited.
Do you remember what the letter said? Henry, this is it.
Oh, Martin, no. You'll be all right if only you'll
I
calm
had
down.
an
Now,
accident. This room is small, roughly furnished. And the desk calendar does show September 3rd, 1947. Henry, it's all as John said it would be. I haven't cheated death.
He's here in this room. He's come to take me. He's come to...
Jack, what's wrong?
He's dead.
Dead. But it was only a shoulder wound. You said he'd pull through.
Yes, but I was wrong. Shock killed him. I guess nothing can save a man when it's ordained he die. Death came to Martin Drake as it was foredoomed to come. Mysterious traveler again. Too bad about Martin and Susan, wasn't it? Even John Drake's warning from another world couldn't save them. Which seems to prove that when your time comes, nothing you can do can change it. So you might as well not worry about it. Though I did know of a man who managed to outwit death for several hundred years. Then one day he was... Oh, you have to get off here. I'm sorry. But I'm sure we'll meet again. I take this same train every week at this time.
You have just heard The Mysterious Traveler, a series of dramas of the strange and terrifying. In today's story, all the characters were fictional, and any resemblance to the name of an actual person, living or dead, was purely coincidental. In the cast were Maurice Tarplin, Roger DeKoven, Eric Dressler, and Bryna Rayburn. Original music was played by Paul Taubman. The Mysterious Traveler is written, produced, and directed by Robert J. Arthur and David Kogan. Listen next week to a tale titled
Death is my co-pilot.
Another Strange and Suspenseful Tale of the Mysterious Traveler. Your Mysterious Traveler has turned author. Yes, Maurice Tarplin has penned a chilling tale titled 7 Casks of Death, which appears in the current issue of Dime Mystery magazine, one of the popular publications group, now on sale at your local newsstand. Don't miss it. This program has come to you from our New York studios. Another program of tense and dramatic action will follow in just a minute. Stay tuned to the station for Official Detective. Carl Caruso speaking. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
The Mysterious Traveler.
This is the Mysterious Traveler, inviting you to join me on another journey into the realm of the strange and the terrifying. I hope you will enjoy the trip, that it will thrill you a little and chill you a little. So settle back, get a good grip on your nerves, and be comfortable, if you can. Where are we going? Why, we're going to follow the adventures of a man who thought he could commit murder and escape punishment. I call the story Death Laughs Last. It was while I was practicing medicine in an eastern city that Edward Harrison brought his wife Mary to me for an examination. I could see at a glance that she was dangerously ill. When I had finished my examination, however, I tried to conceal her true condition from her till I had a chance to speak privately to her husband.
It isn't anything serious, is it, Dr. Smith? Oh, please tell me that it isn't.
Well, I'm afraid it's too soon to say, Mrs. Harrison. Until the X-ray plates are ready, I can't say yes or no.
Oh, but...
Now your husband is waiting outside. He's probably beginning to worry, so...
Oh, yes, of course.
Here's your wife, Mr. Harrison. You must have thought I'd kidnapped her.
No, but I was getting a little worried, Doctor. I hope you didn't find anything very wrong.
Well, I took several X-rays, but I won't be able to tell much until they're developed. I'd like your wife to come back day after tomorrow, if she can.
Of course, Doctor. What time would be the best?
Well, any time that's convenient to you. Now, I'll write out a prescription your husband can have filled. Will you step in for a moment, Mr. Harrison?
Sure thing. Be with you in a moment, Mary.
Of course, darling.
Sit down, won't you, Mr. Harrison?
All right. Now, what is it, Doctor?
Mr. Harrison, your wife is dangerously ill.
Does that mean she's going to die?
Her only hope is a brain operation. A very difficult and delicate operation. Without it, well, I could only give her 6 months, a year at most.
No, it mustn't be. She's got to have the operation, you hear?
I must tell you, Mr. Harrison, that only one man in this country has the necessary skill for the operation your wife needs. He's Dr. Howard Richards, and naturally he's in great demand. His average fee for an operation is about $1,500.
$1,500?
Well, of course, if you can't afford that, you might consider the circumstances and...
No, I can afford it. I can afford anything Mary needs.
Well, then I'll get in touch with him at once.
Yeah, sure. You make the arrangements right away, and I'll get a hold of the money. I'll get it to you by tomorrow, sure.
Darling, help me off with my coat, will you, please?
Oh, sure, Mary. Yeah. How are you feeling?
Oh, much better since Dr. Smith gave me that medicine in his office.
He's a swell doctor. He'll fix you up in no time.
Did he tell you anything more, Edward?
Not a thing, except that the treatment might take a little time, that's all.
A little time? Oh, dear, I hope it won't be too expensive. Your business hasn't been good, and we've used up all the money in our savings account, and...
Oh, don't you fret about money. Don't you worry about anything.
All right, darling, I won't. Oh, but aren't you going to take your coat off?
No, I've got to get the prescription the doctor gave me filled. You just take it easy till I get back. I might stop in at the shop, too. There's something I've got to attend to there. Mr. Danvers, I'm Ed Harrison.
Oh, yes, Mr. Harrison. Please sit down. I see that you want to borrow $1,500 from us.
That's right.
Unfortunately, the security you offer, your home...
Well, what's wrong with it? It's a swell little house, good section, all in good repair.
Yes, that's true. But you already have a first and second mortgage on it, totaling $4,000. And, well, I'm afraid we can't make any further loans on it.
But I've got to have the money. I've just got to.
I'm sorry to hear that, because there's nothing we can do to help you. Nothing we can do.
You say you're not employed, Mr. Harrison.
No, I own a shop. I'm a locksmith.
Mm-hmm. Well, that means you're never certain of your income. If you had a job now, a regular income you could depend on...
What are you getting at? You mean you're not going to let me have the money?
I certainly wish I could, but under the circumstances... Well, I'm sorry, very sorry, but there's nothing I can do.
I'm afraid the collateral you suggest isn't satisfactory, Mr. Harrison. We'd lend you the money if we could, but we just can't. Sorry.
But I've got to have it. I've just got to.
Sorry.
It's to save Mary's life. She'll die if I
Sorry.
don't. And I won't let her die. I won't.
Sorry. Sorry.
Look,
Sorry.
you must.
Sorry.
Listen. You must.
Edward, you aren't eating. Oh, and you're so quiet. Dear, is there anything wrong?
What? Oh, no, of course not.
You're worrying about me, aren't you?
Why, no, Mary. I was just thinking about making some changes at the shop. And...
Darling, you don't have to lie to me. I know I'm not well, but I'm going to get better. Really, I am, I promise.
Of course you are. Dr. Smith said so. You're going to be well in no time. Now I've got to go out. I have an appointment over the other side of the city with Horace Latimer. He wants to see me about something. Something important.
Edward had no appointment with Horace Latimer, but went to see Horace anyway. For he and Horace had been boyhood friends. Then their paths had separated, and Horace had grown wealthy. But in his desperation, Edward Harrison hoped that Horace would remember the past and would lend him the money he'd been trying to raise all day. Horace could spare it easily. But would he?
1,500. That's rather a lot of money, Ed.
I know it is, Horace, but it's for Mary, for an operation. I've got to have it.
Yes. Why don't you try the bank? You have a house, a business.
I have tried the bank and all the personal loan companies in town. They all turned me down, said the security wasn't good enough.
I see. Well, that's too bad. But I don't quite understand why you came to me, Ed.
Because we're friends, that's why. Because when we were boys, we agreed that we'd each of us always lend the other a helping hand if we could.
Boys don't understand business very well, I'm afraid, Ed.
No, I suppose not. They don't understand business. They just understand friendship. You know, if I had the money and you needed it, I'd lend it to you in a minute.
I don't doubt that at all, Ed. And you can bet I'd lend it to you if I had it. But that's the trouble. I haven't any ready cash. The income tax, you know, and a couple of shaky investments that I had to bolster up lately.
All right, Horace, never mind explaining. I get the idea. You're not going to lend me the money.
No, really, Ed, I would if I could, but I can't. I'm sorry,
Save your
but
sorrow for somebody else. I don't need your money, you hear? I'll get it someplace else. Yes, I'll get it. Somehow.
After he had slammed out of Horace Latimer's expensive home, Edward stood for a moment on the dark street corner, staring back with bitterness in his face.
Sorry. Yes, you're sorry. In a pig's eye, you're sorry. What a sap I was to think you were a pal of mine.
What's that, buddy? Oh, was you talking to me?
What? Oh, no, sorry. I guess I was thinking out loud.
Oh, that's okay. Hey, got a match?
A match? Oh, sure. Yeah, there you are.
Thanks. Okay, just hold it like that. Make a move and I'll plug you.
Gun?
Yeah,
Why,
this is a stick-up. Hold your whole hand over your dough and make it fast, see?
My dough? That's a hot one. I'm out trying to raise money myself. We're both out of luck. I've only got $1 on me. Take it if you want it anyway. It's more than I could raise.
Don't try to kid me. Stand still while I see what you got in your pockets. A wallet. A leather case of some kind.
You'll find just $1 in that wallet.
Yeah? A buck. One measly buck. I bet you got a roll hidden in this leather case. It's heavy enough.
There's nothing in there but my emergency kit.
Yeah, well, I'll just see for myself. Say. Oh, this kit is full of skeleton keys and pick locks and stuff. What are you, anyway? Second-story worker?
I'm a locksmith and a safe repairman, if it's anything to you. Now, how about taking $1 and letting me go on my way? I'm in a hurry.
Not so fast, pal. Not so fast. Were you leveling just now when you said you was trying to raise dough?
Yeah, I've got to have $1,500 by tomorrow. What's it to you?
You'd be surprised, pal. Okay, I'm putting the gun away, but you ain't leaving yet. Me and you, we're gonna talk business. Because I got a plan that'll get us both all the dough we need. Two more beers, waiter.
Coming up.
Well, is it a deal on my proposition?
I don't know, Mike.
Sure you do. There's nothing to it. You can open locks and safes. I know where there's a house with plenty of dough in it. You and me together, we'll go get it. We'll make a team.
But burglary? I've never stolen anything in my life.
Listen, you said you needed the dough bad, didn't you? So do I, plenty bad. You said you'd do anything to get it, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Then what are you hanging back for? All you gotta do is get the back door opened and the safe. In half an hour, you'll have your 1,500 and more. How else are you ever gonna get it? Answer me that.
I don't know. You're sure the money's there, Mike?
Positive. I was casing the joint. Looked in the window in time to see the old geezer put a whole roll of bills in a safe that's like a bread box. You could open it with your teeth.
All right, I'll do it. I've got to have the money. I'll go on the job with you.
Okay, this is the joint. Everybody's hit the hay long ago. It'll be a cinch.
The luck looks easy. But I shouldn't be doing this. There must be some other way to get the money straight.
Don't be a sucker all your life. You gotta take what you want in this world. If you don't, you'll never get it. Everybody's a crook of some kind. Take it from me.
Well...
Get on. Get that door open. We gotta get inside before we're spotted.
All right. Let me take a second, I think. Yes. There. It's unlocked.
Okay, get inside. The safe's in the library. Down this way. Don't make any noise.
You're sure there's only two of them in the house?
Yeah, the old guy and his butler. Probably both of them deaf as posts. Here's the library. Come on. The safe's behind the picture on the wall.
This picture?
Yeah, that's it. I'll lift it down. There you are. That safe is just a kid's toy. Go ahead, get it open.
It won't be that easy. But I'll have it open inside half an hour.
Hurry it up. You've been 40 minutes on that thing.
It's coming now. There. It's open.
About time, too. And now let's see what's in it. Here's the cash box. Will I open it? There. Look. Dough, cash, Mazuma. What'd I tell you?
There must be thousands there.
Easy. Come on, we'll count it and divvy it up.
No, never mind. Just give me 1,500. That's all I want. You can keep the rest.
Are you kidding?
No, that's all I want. Just the 1,500 I need.
Okay, it's your funeral. Here you are. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, $1,500 bills.
$1,500?
Yeah, for just an hour's work. Easy money, huh? What do you say? We crack a couple more cribs tonight?
No, I just want to get out of here now and...
Get behind this door. I'll take care of it.
Burglars! Jenkins, please help!
What'd you expect me to do? Shake his hand?
But you killed him. Yes. I'm an accessory to murder.
Cut the guff and let's get out of here. Or do you want to get caught?
No, of course not.
All right, let's get going. Come on, we can...
Stand still, both of you. I have a gun and I have you covered.
The butler.
If you move, I'll shoot. I can see you perfectly.
He's standing on the stairs. He's got a gun. We're caught.
No, not yet. We ain't. Not by an old scarecrow with a rusty horse pistol.
Put up your hands. I'm going to call the police. You've done something to the boss.
Okay, we'll put up our hands. Back from me, Will.
Oh!
They shot him.
We gotta get out of here in a hurry. No shots. Okay, here we are. Come on in.
But why did you make me come here? Why can't I go home?
You heard me. Come on in. That's better. Now, take off your hat and stay a while.
But I can't stay, Mike. My wife, she'll be worrying. Get home to her.
You got other things than your wife to worry about, chum.
What do you mean, Mike?
I mean the cops.
Or have you forgotten you're wanted for murder?
No, I haven't forgotten. I'll never be able to forget. Why did you kill them? Why?
Well, it was either kill them or go to jail. Or would you rather have gone to jail, huh?
No, but I'm all mixed up. How did I get into this anyway?
You needed dough. That's how you got into this. And you got it, so now cut out the sob stuff.
Why won't you let me go home? Why did you make me come here to your room?
You're here so you and me can have a little talk.
Kind of a talk.
Well, chum, that door and that safe open. You and me got a future together.
Oh, I won't do it. I won't.
Sure you will. And always send a little note to the cops.
They'd get you, too.
I'd be a long ways off here. You got a sick wife. You can, they say. You don't think you can pull a job and go on as if nothing had happened. Somebody's always got to be another.
I did it only for
A minute now and you can't get out. Wait.
I'll get it off my chest.
Oh, no, you do. You see, and if I talk... Hey, get it, go!
You got me into this. I'll take that gun away from you.
I'll plug you out! Oh!
Mike. He's dead. I'm gonna get away.
In a daze of horror, he made his way to the street. Thoughts which he could not control round in his head.
They'll hang me. But I had the money to make Mary. Now they'll catch me. They'll hang me. I've got to. Paid for somehow. But you can escape if you're lucky. I need a drink. I've got to have a drink before I go crazy.
So Edward Harrison stood on the street and struggling to control his shaking as normal. He ordered a double whiskey and gulped it. His senses cleared a little. He heard the radio at the end of the bar, broadcasting a warning to the city.
Attention. The police stop for the following man. They're committed in the Buxton Park. Please make a note of the following.
Say, buddy, what's the radio off for?
Because I was...
D? And I got a night I want to hear it. So I'm going to turn it back on again.
No, you mustn't.
But I'm going to. If you try a gun right here under the bar, see what that dirty killer looked like.
I repeat, beyond height, lean and wiry, with reddish-brown hair, in Buxton Park earlier this evening. Man reported once to... Now turn you back to our regular night owl program of popular dance tunes.
Lean and wiry with reddish-brown hair, huh? Well, that ain't you. You're heavy-set and black-haired. But for a minute there, you had me going. I was positive you was the killer the way you didn't want me to hear the description. I guess you're just jumpy, huh? Well, here, have another drink. On the house.
Thanks. I need some sleep. Yeah, that's what I need. Some sleep.
How close he had come to giving himself away. Edward Harrison hurried. Mike the police were looking for. Not Edward Harrison. And they had. Edward Harrison was safe. His own good luck, Edward was asleep. Quiet and troubled by nightmare, Mary was already preparing breakfast.
Good morning, darling.
I was pretty late. I stopped at the shop. I was pretty late at a little work. I forgot to watch the time.
Oh, this morning you look terrible. I know. You're worrying about me. Really, I am.
Of course you are. I'm going to see to that.
What do you think? Dr. Smith called up last night. He wanted to talk to you. Said he had some good news for you.
Good news?
Yes, but he wouldn't tell me what it was. I don't know why. He asked for you to stop in at his office this morning.
I think I know what it is. Yes, sure, I'll go right over and see him.
Oh, but, darling, you're going to eat breakfast first, aren't you?
I'll eat when I get back. I want to see the doctor first. Anyway, I'm not very hungry.
Well, all right, Edward. But please hurry back. I want to know what the doctor says, too.
Yeah, sure, Mary. I'll be right back. But everything's okay now, darling. Everything's okay.
After he left the house, Edward bought a morning paper. Big headlines told of the murders the night before, but he scarcely saw them. His eyes hurried through the story until he found what he was looking for. The news that Mike's body had been found. The butler Mike had shot had given the police Mike's description and then died before he could tell them there was anyone with Mike. So the police had listed Mike's death as a suicide or an accident and closed the case. Edward Harrison was safe. Perfectly safe.
Safe. I'm safe. Mike was wrong. Sometimes you can get away with murder and not have to pay anything if you're lucky. And I've been lucky. I've
been lucky.
When Edward Harrison entered my office, he sat down beside my desk and tossed a folded newspaper into the wastebasket. His expression was that of a man who had just faced disaster and been rescued at the last moment.
Good morning, Doctor. Mary said you'd phoned. You had good news.
Yes, Mr. Harrison, I called you last night after I got in touch with Dr. Richards. I wanted to tell you that he had agreed to operate on your wife.
Oh, that's swell, Doctor. And I've got the money right here in my pocket.
Money, yes. Yes, I was also going to tell you that Dr. Richards had said not to worry about it. You could take as long as you wanted to pay it.
As long as I wanted?
Yes.
Then it wasn't necessary. I didn't have to do it. I didn't have to do it.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Never mind, Doctor. I mean, I've got the money. I want to pay it. He's got to take it right away. Well, what's the matter? What are you looking at me like that for? The operation is going to save Mary's life, isn't it? You said it would. You can't go back on your word. You can, do you hear?
It's not that, Mr. Harrison. Yes, the operation would save your wife's life, but unfortunately, Dr. Richards was the only man in this country able to perform it.
Well, so what? He said he'd do it, didn't he? And I've raised the dough to pay him, so what's the hitch?
Mr. Harrison, Dr. Richards can't perform the operation now.
But you said...
He was tragically murdered last night by a burglar who broke into his home in Buxton Park. This is the mysterious traveler again. Did you enjoy our little trip into the life of a man who thought he could make good come out of evil? Poor Edward Harrison. He didn't believe that crime must always be paid for by someone, did he? What became of him? Well, after his wife died a few months later, he confessed everything to the police. He didn't have anything to live for, poor fellow. But I hope his experience will teach you that crime really doesn't pay. I always say that if... Oh, you're getting off at the next stop. I'm sorry. But perhaps we'll meet again soon. I take this same train every week.
You have just heard Chapter 42 of The Mysterious Traveler, a series of dramas of the strange and terrifying. In today's story, Death Laughs Last, Philip Clark played Edward Harrison, Carl Emery played Mike, and Elizabeth Morgan played Mary Harrison. The Mysterious Traveler is written by Bob Arthur and David Cogan, and original music is played by Henry Silverne. The entire production is under the direction of Jock McGregor. And now, an important message for all of you.
This is Jock McGregor speaking. The National War Fund drive begins tomorrow. As you probably know, this fund includes over 22 of the major war relief and service organizations. As the war progresses on all fronts, more and more people will need help. Our armed forces, American prisoners of war, our allies, and people right here at home. And by giving to the National War Fund, you will be helping. Consider just one of the many organizations that the War Fund supports, the USO. More than 3,000 service units are in operation, clubs where our servicemen and women find recreation, dances, educational activities, reading, writing, and game rooms, and religious counsel. The USO is responsible for the traveler's aid desks, which help servicemen make connections and find sleeping accommodations. It operates the lounges in railroad and bus terminals. USO camp shows bring American entertainment to our troops at camps and stations throughout this country and in all the combat zones. Groups will play the jungle circuit in the South Pacific, the desert circuit in North Africa, the grass skirt circuit in the Hawaiian Islands, and the foxhole circuit in combat zones just behind the front lines. We can't measure in money the good accomplished by the USO, but we can help to continue that good work by giving our money the National War Fund. So when your community war fund or war chest representative calls on you, give and give generously.
Listen next time to a tale titled
The Man the Insects Hated.
another tale of the mysterious traveler. The Mysterious Traveler is presented by WOR Mutual from the WOR studios in New York. Beginning Saturday, October 7th, The Mysterious Traveler will be heard at a new time. It will be presented every Saturday evening at 10:30 Eastern Wartime over most of these same stations. So remember the new time, 10:30 p.m., Saturdays.
This is Mutual.
The Mysterious Traveler.
This is the Mysterious Traveler, inviting you to join me on another journey into the realm of the strange and the terrifying. I hope you will enjoy the trip, that it will thrill you a little and chill you a little. So settle back and get a good grip on your nerves, if you can. Where are we going? Why, we're going to pay a visit to the home of Albert and Louise Jordan. As nice a couple as you'd hope to meet. In a story I call Death is the Visitor. My story begins in the Jordan home late on a hot summer night. Albert Jordan is asleep and is having a nightmare about his mother-in-law.
Oh, no. You can't pull the wool over my eyes, Albert Jordan. I'm on to your ways. Think that my only child was foolish enough to elope with you. But you made her do it, Albert. You made her.
No. She wanted...
As long as I'm alive, she'll be protected from you. Albert, are you listening?
Leave me alone. Please.
Darling, wake up.
What is it?
You were having a nightmare, dear. You don't want to wake Mother up. She needs a good night's sleep for a trip tomorrow.
Oh, yes, the trip. I wish it was tomorrow already. She was gone.
Are you sure you have everything, Mother?
Yes, Louise. Everything I need for my trip home is in this handbag. Oh, now don't forget to ship my trunk.
I've already notified the expressman, Mother. He'll be here to pick it up this morning.
Thank you, dear.
Well, it's almost 9 o'clock, Mother. You'll miss your train.
I've never missed a train in my life. You needn't be so anxious to get rid of me, Albert.
Not really, Mother. I didn't mean...
Oh, Louise, darling, I do hate leaving you alone like this.
But, Mother, I'm not alone. I have Albert.
Well, I don't mind saying it right to his face. I don't trust him, Louise, and I never will. I'm rarely wrong about people, you know that.
Now, see here, Mother. I've had about enough. Louise and I get along perfectly well when you're not here.
See, Louise, what a temper he has. Do you want me to stay, darling?
Oh, really, Mother, I'm very happy with Albert.
Oh, well, very well, then I'll go. But you'd better be good to her, Albert.
Yes, Mother. I will.
Well, goodbye. And don't forget, Louise, Mother'll be back if you need her.
Yes, Mother. Bye.
Louise, if your mother pays us just one more visit, I'll leave this house for good.
Albert, what are you saying?
In the past year, she spent 8 months with us. She has her clothes here, a key to the house. Why, she's even listed in the phone book under our number. I tell you, I won't be responsible for what happens if she doesn't stay away.
I'll write to her, Albert, and try to explain. Really, I will.
Make her understand that we have our own lives to lead. You know, now that she's gone, I feel like a new man. I can breathe in my own house.
Oh, Albert, you won't forget to put the tags on Mother's trunk, will you? The expressman will be here for it soon.
No, dear. Shipping your mother's trunk to her will be one thing I certainly won't forget. Let me see. This is Hortense Murdoch. 125 River Road, Ferndale, Pennsylvania.
That won't be necessary, Albert. My trunk can remain here.
Mother, but you went to catch your train.
I know I did, but I changed my mind about going. I won't leave my little girl alone. Why are you looking so startled, Albert? Are you hiding something from me?
No. No, of course not.
Where's Louise?
She went downtown an hour ago.
She should be home soon. I'm sure at least she'll be glad to see me. Oh, you haven't locked my trunk yet. That's good.
So you've come back. Again.
You've always wanted to get rid of me, Albert. Keep me away from my only child, but I refuse to give her up. Yes, I've come back, Albert, and I'm staying for good. Frankly, I don't trust you.
You don't trust me?
No. I don't even know your background. For all I know, you may have criminal tendencies.
There's a certain amount of the criminal in all of us. Most people can control their worst instincts, and some can't.
Exactly. And I'm here to see to it that no one harms Louise.
But, Mother, who's going to look out for you?
Albert, why are you looking so queerly at me? Are you sick?
Yes, Mother, I'm sick. Sick of the sight of you.
Albert, stop looking at me that way. Why, you seem like a different person.
I am, Mother. You've made me different, and now you must take the consequences.
Albert, stay away from me. Don't you dare come near me.
So you would keep coming back, Mother. Well, you came back just once too often.
No, Albert. Don't touch me. Albert,
You should have taken that train, Mother. But at least now, I know you won't be coming back ever again. I didn't want to kill you, but you made me. Oh, but now I've got to get rid of you or they'll catch me. The trunk. Yes, it's large enough. Even in death, you're a problem, Mother. But you won't be for long. There. Now I'll have to get rid of the trunk. Somehow. I'll think of a way.
Albert, are you home?
Louise, the trunk. I've got to close it.
Is that you, Albert?
Yes, dear. Yes.
Oh, I see. You're locking the trunk.
Yes, I was just getting it ready for the expressman.
He should be here by now. Albert, is anything wrong?
Anything wrong? What do you mean, Louise?
I don't know. Your face is so flushed.
Oh, it's just a little warm in here, that's all.
Oh, we forgot to pack Mother's robe. Look. Oh, you'll have to open the trunk again, Albert.
No, I mean, the trunk's full already. You wouldn't be able to get anything else into it.
Why, nonsense. When Mother and I packed it, it was only half full. Oh, please open it.
But it's locked, and we haven't got the keys.
Oh, yes, that's right. Mother has them. Well, we'll just have to mail the robe to her. Oh, I'll answer the door. It must be the expressman. Make sure the tags are on it, dear.
The tags. Oh, we can't go to her home. Oh, if I only had time to think. Wait, yes, that's the only thing to do.
Oh, come this way, please. You'll find the trunk in this room. Here it is. Are you finished, Albert?
Yes, it's all ready to go.
Okay. Well, I'll make a racket of it. Now, let me see. It's being shipped to...
Perhaps you'd better load it on the truck first.
It's easier this way, mister. You're shipping it to Mr. William Smith, 345 Wood Street, Las Vegas?
Well, that isn't the right address.
Then, what is it on this shipping tag, lady?
Oh, well, that must be one of my customers. I must have been thinking of someone else when I wrote it out.
Yeah, but what's the right address?
Oh, it's Mrs. Hortense Murdoch, 125 River Road, Ferrydale, Pennsylvania. That's right, isn't it, dear?
Yes.
Okay, I know your name and address. I'll put the right tags on later. That's mighty heavy.
Oh, please be careful with it.
Don't worry, lady. I'll get there safe and sound.
Albert, did you get the mail just now?
Yes, dear.
Is there a letter from Mother yet?
No, just a few bills.
I'm really worried. It's a week now and no word from her.
But you mustn't worry, Louise. I'm sure she's all right.
Why, Albert, you're even worried yourself about her. You look so upset.
Oh, I'll answer.
I'll come with you. Maybe it's a special delivery from Mother.
Yes?
Hey, good morning. I got a trunk here for you folks.
What? It's Mother's trunk.
Yes.
You've always wanted to get rid of me, Albert. But I've come back, Albert, and I'm staying for good.
Bring it in, won't you, please?
Okay, lady. There you are.
But I don't understand. Why should Mother send her trunk back to us?
Would you mind signing for it, Mr. Jordan?
What? Oh, yes. Here you are.
Thanks. Bye.
Albert, I can't understand why Mother shipped her trunk back to us, and without even writing a word about it. Can you figure it out?
What? Oh, no, I can't.
Well, I'm going to put an end to this guessing.
Louise, what are you going to do?
I'm calling Mother. Hello, operator. I want to put through a call to Ferrydale, Pennsylvania. The number is 223.
Why bother, Louise? I'm sure there's a letter on the way.
Oh, I've waited long enough for one. I'm sure there's something wrong. Oh, hello? Oh, hello, Sarah. This is Louise calling. Is my mother there? What? Are you sure? Oh, and that's why you shipped the trunk back. No. Thank you, Sarah. Albert, Sarah says that Mother never arrived home. She sent a postcard saying not to expect her just yet.
Was Sarah the one who shipped the trunk back?
Yes. She thought that Mother had decided to stay with us longer and would need her clothes. But Albert, where can she be?
Oh, now, Louise, I'm sure she's all right.
All right, she's been missing a week. How could she be?
Well, perhaps she's staying with friends.
You know Mother hasn't any friends. We've got to do something. Albert, I'm going to call the police.
The police investigated, but they had no clues, so they didn't learn anything. And George got rid of the embarrassing trunk just as fast as he could. Telling Louise he was going to put it into storage, he took it to a trucking company to ship it as far away as it could go. It was the only thing he could think of to do.
All right, I got it straight, I guess, now. Mr. Richard Jones, 65 Ocean Avenue, Los Angeles. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. He's my brother.
Yeah, and your name is,
Martin Jones.
Yeah?
1635 Sherwood Road, Riverdale, New York.
Jones, Sherwood Road, Riverdale. All right, Mr. Jones, now let's see. That'll be $18.
Oh, well, here's 20. Keep the change.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Jones. Here's your receipt.
It'll go out right away.
There's a truck leaving tonight. Don't you worry. This trunk will get to Los Angeles all right.
That's fine. It'll be quite a load off my mind when it's gone. A week passed, 2 weeks, 3, and poor Albert was breathing more easily again. Until one morning when something most unexpected happened. Louise, darling.
Yes, Albert.
Oh, darling, I have a present for you. Some flowers. Just saw them and thought you'd like them.
Thank you, Albert. You're very thoughtful.
Louise, your mother's been missing more than a month now. You can't go on like this. You'll have a breakdown.
Oh, Albert, where can she be? Why can't the police find her?
Well, darling, if she hasn't been found in 5 weeks... Oh, excuse me, dear. I'll answer.
Maybe it's news of Mother, Albert.
Good evening. I got a trunk here. I think belongs to you.
A trunk?
Yeah, that's right.
You've always wanted to get rid of me, Albert. But I've come back, Albert. I've come back.
Do you recognize it? It's yours, isn't it?
Oh, no.
Huh? Well, ain't you the fella that shipped this trunk about a month ago? Didn't you give me a $2 tip?
I'm afraid you have me confused with someone else. Don't you know where the trunk goes?
Well, no. You see, it's come all the way back from California. It seems there wasn't no such address where this was shipped to.
Surely it had a return address.
Yeah, but the trunk got wet. The return address kind of washed off, so it came back to the office where it was shipped from.
Oh. But what makes you think it belongs here?
Well, you see, I kind of did a little detective work. The initials stamped on the trunk are HGM. Well, I looked it up in the phone book, and the only person in town with those initials lives here.
I'm sorry, but it certainly isn't my trunk.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to trouble you. I'd have sworn you was the guy that gave me that $2 tip.
Where will you take the trunk now?
Oh, it'll be put to the unclaimed baggage, and then in a few months it'll be auctioned off.
Auctioned off?
Yeah. You'd be surprised what you sometimes find in them. Just like a grab bag game. Well, sorry to trouble you.
Oh, wait a minute.
Huh?
What did you say those initials were?
HGM.
HGM. Why, they're my mother-in-law's initials. Her name is Hortense G. Murdoch.
Well, sure. That was the only name in the book with those initials. That's why I came here.
Well, that was a very clever piece of detective work. Yes, of course it's her trunk. I don't know why I didn't recognize it.
Well, trunks, they kind of look alike.
Yes, that's right. Well, bring it in.
Trunks are funny things, aren't they? You have something valuable in one, just as likely as not it'll get lost. But put something you don't want in it, like a mother-in-law, and it'll come back every time. You can hardly blame Albert for being upset, especially since Louise wanted to open the trunk to look for possible clues. But Albert managed to get Louise out of the house, then put the trunk onto the trunk rack of his car and started out. Several hours later, he was at the receiving platform of an all-night storage warehouse in New York.
Yes, mister? Can I help you?
Pardon me, but you store trunks here, don't you?
Yeah, sure. We store anything in here. You want to store that trunk you got there?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay, I'll make out a ticket. Now, what's your name?
Williams, John Williams.
The address?
313 Maple Street.
Yeah, but what city, mister? What city?
Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore. Okay. Charge is $3 a month. How long you want to pay for?
Quite a while. I'll be leaving the country and...
Well, what is it? Anything wrong, mister?
Oh, dear. I only seem to have $6 with me.
Well, that'll pay for 2 months. Then we'll send you a bill.
No, that won't be necessary. I'll send you a money order in a few days. I may be out of the country for several years.
Okay. Leave the trunk there. I'll take care of it. And here's your receipt. Just put the number of it in your letter when you send the money.
I will. I won't forget. Good night.
Good night. Hey, Mr. Williams. Mr. He's gone. There's a receipt on the platform where he dropped it. The nervous type. Oh, well, I suppose they can forward it to him from Baltimore.
When Albert found he'd lost his receipt for the trunk, he was badly upset at first. That meant he couldn't send any money for future storage charges. But after all, there was no identification inside it, and he'd rubbed Mother's initials off the outside this time. So how could anyone trace it back to him? Especially since they'd be looking for him in Baltimore. So in a few weeks, Albert was himself again. Except for a nightmare once in a while.
After all, what do I know about you, Albert? You may have criminal tendencies, and I'm going to protect my daughter from you. Yes, I've come back, and you're not going to get rid of me. Do you hear me, Albert? I've come back to stay.
No, leave me alone. Leave me alone. I can't.
Albert!
No.
Albert, wake up.
What is it, Louise?
You were moaning in your sleep, dear. You must have been having a nightmare.
Oh, yes, I was. But it's not important. It's just that midnight snack I had. Go back to sleep, darling.
But as the months passed, so did the nightmares. And finally, Albert was his old cheerful self again.
Good evening, dear. How are you?
I'm all right, Albert.
Fine. Say, I bumped into George Horton and his wife while on the way home, and they asked us to come to the charity bazaar tonight.
That was very nice of them, Albert.
Well, why don't we go? There'll be an auction, a raffle, supper, dancing. It'll do you good.
I know, but somehow I don't feel like meeting people.
But you can't go on this way, Louise, cutting yourself off from the world.
I've been unfair to you, haven't I, Albert? Keeping you home night after night all these months.
Oh, why, darling, you know I've been perfectly happy. It's been so nice. Just the two of us.
You've been perfectly wonderful, Albert, and I'm afraid I've been acting very selfishly. All right, I'll go to that charity affair tonight.
Now, what am I bid for this beautiful antique lamp? Do I hear $1? Do I hear $1?
I'll bid $1.
Ah, there we have a lady with a real sense of beauty. Now, do I hear $2? Do I hear Mr. Dollar?
Well, good evening, George.
Well, hello, Albert. Hello, Louise.
Hello, George.
Say, I'm sure glad you two came. Missed you both a lot these past months.
Well, I hope you'll be seeing more of us. Hey, we've got quite a crowd here tonight.
Oh, yeah. We hope to raise quite a bit of money. Say, that auctioneer's a genius. Come on, let's get a little closer.
All right.
Now, that gentleman over there, the one with the superb eye for beauty, bids $5 for this land. Do I hear $5.50? Your last chance, ladies and gentlemen, going at $5 once, going twice, sold to the gentleman in the tweed suit, and very fortunate he is.
That lamp couldn't have cost more than $3 when it was new. Well, now we come to the raffle.
The raffle?
Yeah, the raffle for a mystery prize donated by yours truly, George Horton.
Oh.
Better let me sell you a few tickets, Albert. They're only 50 cents each.
No, thanks, George. We just came to be sociable.
Better take a chance. No telling what you might win.
Now, next, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the feature of the evening. A raffle for a mystery prize, which I have hidden here beneath this canvas cover. Now, I'm going to lift this cover and show you a locked trunk. Now, take a good look at it.
Trunk. Oh, no. It can't be. It is. She's come back again.
Yes, Albert, I've come back. And I'm going to stay for good this time.
Oh, no.
Now, this is no ordinary trunk, ladies and gentlemen. It was donated by a gentleman who bought it for storage charges. Now, who knows what it contains? Perhaps the crown jewels of old Russia. Or better still, a case of scotch. Now, take a good look at it and try to guess.
Albert, you're so pale. Is there anything wrong?
No, of course not. George, where did you get this trunk?
Oh, that big storage place in New York. You know, on the east side. Somebody did keep up the storage charges on it, and all the notifications they mailed came back, so...
Yes, I see.
Now that you've seen all the prizes, and particularly seen this prize, ladies and gentlemen, I know you're going to want to buy not one, not two, but half a dozen chances each. What can be in it? Guessing is half the fun. Well, now we're all going to adjourn for supper, and immediately after supper, the big drawing will be held. So buy your chances now and win yourself a trunk full of surprise and pleasure.
Well, Albert, changed your mind about buying a chance or two?
Yes, George. Yes, I have. Now take all you've got.
Albert, I don't understand you. You've bought every chance that was left on that trunk.
Louise, I know what I'm doing.
What on earth do you want with an old trunk that... Looks a lot like Mother's trunk, doesn't it?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
But of course it does, Albert. It's the same make and color. It has the same dent there. But it couldn't be.
Of course not. The idea is absurd.
Darling, you're acting so strangely. You didn't eat any supper, and
For
now
heaven's sakes, Louise, will you stop nagging me?
I'm sorry, Albert.
Hello. Feeling pretty sure you're going to win it with all those tickets, huh, Albert?
I hope so.
I knew the mystery of it would get you. Say, I've even got a ticket on it myself. So you'll have some competition.
Oh, I'll win it. I've got to.
Well, I did my best. I picked out the heaviest trunk the place had for sale. So I don't want the winner to blame me if he doesn't like what he finds.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready for the feature of the evening, the drawing for the locked mystery trunk. Now, my assistant has put all the ticket stubs in the wire wheel, and so I spin it thus. Round and round it goes, and where it stops, nobody knows. Now the stubs are thoroughly mixed, and I stop the wheel so that this lovely young lady may reach in and withdraw the number of the lucky winner. Now, will you open your eyes, please, and read the number that you have drawn?
Number 38.
Number 38. Number 38. Number 38 is the winner. Is the holder of number 38 here, please?
Yes, I have it. I've won.
Well, good for you, Albert.
Congratulations, sir. May I have your ticket, please, so that I may compare it with the stub that the young lady drew?
Yes, of course. Here it is.
Thank you. Now, I place the ticket and the stub together, and we...
What is it?
I'm very sorry. I'm afraid an error has occurred.
An error? What do you mean?
The young lady misread the winning number. It is number 33, not 38.
No, you're lying. I won.
The trunk's mine.
Now, I'm sorry, but mistakes will happen. Ladies and gentlemen, I must make a correction. The winning number is 33. Is the holder of number 33 present?
Oh, yes. Well, that's my number. Well, hard luck, Albert, but I guess you don't win after all.
Now, may I have your ticket, please?
Yeah, sure, here.
Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the lucky winner, purely by chance, is the gentleman who donated the prize, Mr. George Horton. And congratulations to you, sir. And I hope you'll open the trunk now and let the rest of us know what we missed out on.
I certainly will.
No, he can't open it. You haven't got the key.
No, but I have a bunch here that I borrowed from a locksmith, and one of them's bound to work.
But you mustn't open it. George, I'll buy that trunk from you.
But I don't want to sell. Hey, I want to know what's in the trunk. That's where the fun comes in.
I'll give you $100. You can't refuse.
100? Well, if you want it that bad, all right.
I'll give you my check tomorrow.
Yeah, but there's one condition.
Condition?
Yep. That you open the trunk here so we can all see what's in it.
Oh, no, I won't do it.
Well, then the deal's off. Sorry, Albert, but curiosity has the better of me.
Come on, George, please listen to me.
Sorry, Albert, sorry. Just a minute, everybody. As soon as I find one of these keys at bed, I'll...
I told you I'd come back, Albert, and I have. You should have known I would.
Oh, no.
Darling, you're not well. Let's go home.
No, it's no use. It's just no use.
What on earth do you mean?
You'll never be rid of me, Albert. Never. I've come back to stay this time.
I think I've got it. Yeah, this key seems to be turning.
Wait.
Matter, what is it?
You mustn't open it.
Oh, Albert, fun's fun, but
No,
after all...
I had something to tell you. She's beaten me. I can't keep it hidden any longer.
That's right, Albert. Tell them it's the only way you can ever be rid of me. Go on. Tell them.
Well, Albert?
I did it. I killed her.
Did what? Killed who?
Albert, what are you talking about?
I killed Louise's mother. Her body is in that trunk.
Oh, no.
Albert, that's a very poor joke.
Oh, it's no joke. I thought I could get rid of her, but I can't. She keeps coming back and coming back and coming back, and I can't stand it any longer. Go on, open the trunk now. You'll see I'm telling the truth. Go on, open it.
All right, we will. Please stand back, everybody. Come on, stand back, all of you. Yes, back. Auctioneer, help me, will you?
Yes, sure, Mr. Horton. I'll undo this catch now. There. All right, now lift her.
Albert, this trunk. Why, there's nothing in it but old books.
This is the mysterious traveler again. Poor Albert. He let himself be fooled by the wrong trunk. Maybe it was his guilty conscience. What happened to him? Why, he's getting the best of attention these days in a small but comfortable room with bars over the windows. The only trouble is the bars won't keep his mother-in-law out. She comes in every night to talk to him. So if you're ever tempted to... Oh, you're getting off here. I'm sorry. But I'm sure we'll meet again. I take this same train every week at this time.
You have just heard The Mysterious Traveler, a series of dramas of the strange and terrifying. Listen next week over most of these mutual stations to a tale titled
Murder is no accident.
Another Tale of the Mysterious Traveler. The Mysterious Traveler is presented by the Mutual Network from our New York studios. Russ Dunbar speaking. Stay tuned to this station for another exciting crime drama. True detective mysteries, which immediately follows station identification. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Mutual presents The Mysterious Traveler, written, produced, and directed by Bob Arthur and David Kogan.
traveler, inviting you to join me on another journey into the realm of the strange and terrifying. I hope you will enjoy the trip, that it will thrill you a little and chill you a little. So settle back, get a good grip on your nerves, and be comfortable, if you can. Where are we going? Tonight we're going to drop in on Henry Norton, a man who saw death in every corner. I call the story Death is My Caller. My story begins late one afternoon in the luxurious office of Henry Norton, a stockbroker. Norton, a tall, dapper man in his 40s, is in the midst of signing some letters when he's called on the office communicator by his secretary.
Excuse me, Mr. Norton.
Yes, Miss Perry.
There's a Mr. Blair to see you.
Mr. Who?
Charles Blair. He says you know him very well.
Charlie Blair. Tell him I'm not in. I'm out of town. Tell him anything. I don't want to see him. I don't ever want to see him.
He says he knows you're here, insists on talking to you.
Get him out of the office. Get some of the boys to help me. If he won't leave, just...
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Norton. He forced his way in. I'm sorry. I couldn't stop him.
That's quite all right, Miss Perry. I'll see him.
Hello, Henry. I thought you'd be delighted to see me. We haven't seen each other for 7 long years. That wasn't nice not to have a chat with your ex-partner, was it?
Well, I was awfully busy. I have a lot of work to do. You know how it is.
No, I don't.
I didn't know you were out already. I thought you had 3 more years to go.
I did, but good behavior cut 3 years off my sentence.
Well, that's wonderful, Charlie. I'm glad you're out. It must have been a terrible experience. You've changed. It was a little hard to recognize you at first.
Perhaps the prison pallor doesn't become me. And my hair has turned completely gray. I don't look so good, do I, Henry? Not like you with a Florida tan.
Well, how's Helen?
My wife's dead.
She's dead? Oh, I'm terribly sorry. What'd she die of?
She died of heartbreak.
Oh, poor Helen. She was always such a sensitive woman. What about your son, Alan?
He disappeared after his mother died. I don't know where he is. He never wrote me while I was in jail. Never forgave me for bringing ruin and suffering upon his mother. You see, he was sensitive, too.
You've had a pretty hard time of it, haven't you, Charlie?
Your sympathy is touching.
Well, I hope you'll drop around again sometime when I'm not so busy.
I'm not leaving yet, Henry.
I've got some important work to finish. If you come around in a week or so, perhaps I'll have a spot for you, something in your line.
Don't be so nervous, Henry. I'm not going to kill you. Not yet.
Kill me? Why should you want to kill me?
I was wondering how long you'd put on this innocent act. All this concern about my welfare, about my wife and son. Why, you slimy rat. If it weren't for you, I'd never have gone to prison. My wife would be alive today, and my son wouldn't be embittered against me.
I swear to you, it wasn't my fault. Believe me, Charlie, I had nothing
You should have
to
known that sooner or later I'd be freed. Did you think I was ever going to forget how you framed me?
I didn't frame you. It was out of my hands. I couldn't do
when
a
my
thing.
wife died and my son disappeared, I had no reason to live. Just one thing that kept me alive. A fine and beautiful vengeance I had worked out for you. I thought of you constantly as I tramped the prison yard. I lay awake at night, smoothing out my plans to pay you back for all you've done to me. 7 years. You can think of an awful lot of things.
It was all Grayson's fault, I tell you. He's the one to blame.
I nourished and built my hate for 7 long years. I cultivated it as I would a garden, so that it isn't a hot, violent anger anymore. Oh, no. It's a cool, efficient hate that works by blueprint. I look at you now as an engineer would at something he must destroy. And you're as good as dead, Henry.
No, Charlie. No, I can explain everything. Just give me some
I
time.
could kill you now, but you'd only suffer a few minutes, and then it would be all over. That would never equal the years of torture and suffering that I've gone through. But I won't disappoint you, Henry. I am going to kill you. But not until you've gotten a fair idea what 7 years of suffering means.
I tell you, Charlie, it wasn't my fault. Grayson made me do it. He made me water those stocks under your name.
So it was Grayson. Poor Grayson went to prison where he got sick and died. He framed himself, didn't he? Come now, Henry, pull yourself together. You ought to be able to concoct a better alibi than that silly one. You were quite a brilliant fellow once. Why, with one swoop, you got rid of 2 partners. And you thrived during these 7 years while I was away. I hear you're one of the biggest brokers in the city now. Climbed over the backs of half a dozen people.
Oh, look, Charles, let's be reasonable. I'll give you an important position in my company. It'll be a good-paying job.
A job?
Too.
What for? What do I want money for? I have no family, no one to work for, care for. I have only one thing left in my life. That, Henry, is to see you go to the next world in the most agonizing way possible. Goodbye, Henry. You can spend the rest of the afternoon most profitably by making out your will.
Henry Norton's cold and clammy hands were trembling as Charles Blair left his office. The impact of seeing this ghost from his past left Henry's mind in a whirl of confusion. His mind turned to flight, but that was impossible. His money, his very life was wrapped up in his business. He couldn't flee. His brain in a turmoil, unable to do any work, Henry got his hat and coat and left his office. He arrived home, badly unnerved, and retired to his study to give the problem of Charles Blair further thought. But he was interrupted.
See who that is, Miss Dean. If it's Mr. Blair, don't let him in. I'm never into him, understand?
Yes, Mr. Norton, I understand.
How do you do, madam? Is this the Norton home?
Yes, what can I do for you?
I'm Mr. Madden. I'd like to see the head of the household.
Just a moment, please.
Who is it?
He says his name is Madden.
Madden? I don't know anybody by that name. Has he got gray hair?
No, Mr. Norton, his hair is black.
All right. All right, I'll see him. Did you want to see me, sir?
Yes, sir. Are you Mr. Norton?
Yes, I am.
All right, boys, bring it in. Just put it down by the door for the moment, boys. That's it.
Say, what's going on here? Why are you bringing a coffin into my apartment? Who are you?
Well, now, if you please, I'd like to see the body.
Body? What body? What's this all about? What's this coffin doing here?
We've come for the body of Henry Norton.
Why, you must be crazy. I'm Henry Norton. You?
I'm sorry. I must have gotten the names confused. What was your brother's name?
I have no brother, and there's no body in this house. If this is some stupid joke, I don't think it's funny at all.
I'm not in the habit of playing jokes, sir. I've been an established undertaker for many years. Here's my card.
Oh, the devil take your card. Who put you up to this?
Some man came to my parlor yesterday and arranged for the funeral of Henry Norton. He paid for everything in advance.
Some man? What was his name?
He didn't leave any name.
Charlie Blair. What did he look like?
Rather tall, I think. His hair had turned white.
Blair. So it was Blair trying to frighten me. Get out. Get out of here, you stupid fools. Take that coffin back with you.
I'm not used to being spoken to like that, Mr. Norton.
Get out of here before I throw you out.
Come on, boys.
Wait a minute. Don't leave that coffin here.
It's all paid for, Mr. Norton. It's yours now. Keep it. You might need it sometime.
Before Henry could call Madden the undertaker back, he was gone. Henry turned from the door and stared at the new coffin on the floor. It even had a plate on it with his name engraved. Unable to stand the sight of the coffin, Henry fled to his study and locked himself in. Unable to sleep, He spent the night trying to think of a way to escape Charles Blair's vengeance. The following morning found Henry haggard and distraught, and no closer to a solution of his problem. As he ate a tasteless breakfast, the doorbell rang. Miss Dean, the housekeeper, went to the door. A minute later, she returned.
Who was that, Miss Dean?
It was the postman, Mr. Norton. His special delivery package came for you.
Oh, it must be the new field glasses I ordered. Here, let me have it. Nice of them to wrap it in a gift box. Kind of a small box, though. Guess it isn't the binoculars after all.
Someone sent you a gift.
Probably one of my clients. Wait a minute. You hear anything?
Hear what?
It's ticking. I'll put it to your ear. Listen.
Yes, I hear it now.
It's throbbing. It's a time bomb.
Oh.
Somebody's trying to kill me.
Time bomb. Oh.
Hey, it'll go off any minute.
Well, what are we going to do?
Here, take it. Throw it away.
Where?
Out of the window, anyplace.
No. There's people outside.
Don't stand there like an idiot. Throw it out.
I'll throw it in the bathtub.
Hurry before we get blown to bits.
Dear, I hope it doesn't explode in my hand.
Henry Norton stood frozen with fear as Miss Dean raced with the package to the bathroom. A moment later, he heard the water gushing in the tub. Aware of the danger he was in, he hastily retreated to the library, which was the farthest room in the house from the bathroom. There he crouched in the corner, feverishly mopping his brow. 10 minutes later, a police car raced up to the house, and the doorbell rang.
We're from the bomb and alien squad. Where's the package?
It's in the bathtub. I turned the faucet on.
That won't do no good, lady. Where's the bathroom?
That door on your left.
All right, you stay here. Jim, you come along with me. Okay, here's the bathroom. You better stand back a little, Jim. I'll take a look at it myself. Well, it isn't ticking anymore. Might be safe to open it now. Well, here goes. Why, it's only an alarm clock. Someone must have wound it up before he sent it out. Now, who'd want to do a fool thing like that?
That night, Henry Norton found it hard to sleep. He tossed and turned for hours, and it seemed he had hardly closed his eyes before he awoke with a start, certain there was someone in the room.
Who's there? There's somebody in this room. I know it. I'll turn the light on.
Never mind the light.
It's you, Charlie. What do you mean by breaking into my room in the middle of the night?
Get dressed, Henry.
Get dressed? What for?
You and I are going somewhere.
You're crazy. I'm staying right here. If you don't leave immediately, I'll call the police.
If you call the police, they'll find only you here. Dead. Get dressed, Henry.
All right. I'm getting dressed, but you won't get away with it.
Make it fast. Don't make any unnecessary noises. Remember, it's with great control I keep myself from pressing the trigger.
Well, I'm coming. I've got to get my clothes on, don't I?
You're not going to a dance. Just put your shoes on and get into your coat.
Where are we going at this hour?
Don't be impatient. You'll find out soon enough.
You're not going to kill me.
You'd better stop stalling.
I'll get my coat. It's in the closet.
Go ahead and get it. You make one suspicious move and you're a dead crook. Are you ready?
Yes.
Walk in front of me. We're going out through the back door. Now, into the car. You're going to drive.
You want me to drive?
That's what I said, and don't plan anything. Only takes a fraction of a second to fire a gun. You'll follow my directions carefully. And drive slowly.
How much further are we going?
Not much further, Henry. Stop a little ahead of that tombstone sign.
We're near the cemetery. Look, Charlie. Charlie, I know I did you a great wrong. Maybe we can work out something. I've got lots of money.
Stop here. We're getting out.
Be reasonable, Charlie. Let's talk
The tombstone cutting establishment. Keep walking between the 2 rows of tombstones. Because this is our destination.
Please, Charlie, don't. I'll do anything. I'll turn over half my money to you.
Why not all?
All right, I'll give you everything I have.
I don't want any of your money. And I'm not going to kill you yet. You see the tombstone in front of you? You see it? I'll turn the flashlight on it so that you can read it. There. Well, go ahead, read it.
Henry Norton, born March 15, 1899. Died October 21st, 1947. October 21st. Why, that's Tuesday, the day after tomorrow.
That's right. The day after tomorrow. You have 2 whole beautiful days to live. But since you're the worrying type, you'll probably die 1,000 deaths in those 2 days. 8 o'clock Tuesday night. Your infamous career will come to a sudden and violent end.
You'll never get away with it. Nobody can get away with murder.
You're right. That's why you're going to die in 2 days. I suggest that about 5 minutes to 8 you crawl into the coffin I sent you. It'll save time. Funerals are so disagreeable. The sooner you get it over with, the better.
You're inhuman, Charlie.
Am I? Then you don't accept my generous offer? You prefer to be put out of your misery right now?
No, not now.
Why, you're shivering, Henry. Better button up your coat. You're liable to catch cold. Imagine dying in the midst of a sneeze. Well, shall we go? Or would you rather look around at some of the other tombstones? Being so rich, you might prefer marble instead of granite.
No, I want to go back
Perhaps
home.
you'd like to look over the nice cemetery I picked for you. It's just the other side of this yard. I'm sure you'd like to see where you're going to be buried.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't like to see anything.
Not even curious. Well, it doesn't really matter. Doesn't make any difference where you're buried after you're dead.
Please, let me go home. I can't stand anymore. Please, let me go.
Come now, Henry. You mustn't go to pieces. Why, you're trembling all over. Well, you're due for a nervous breakdown. You must be very tired. You've had such a hard day.
Oh, you're driving me mad. Please, let me go.
No pride at all. You ought to meet your fate with defiance instead of oozing out like a blob of melted jelly. All right. Come on. We'll go back to the car. You can return home and go back to bed now, if you think you can sleep.
The morning of October 21st arrived, and Henry Norton's nerves were a little calmer. He had been promised a police guard, and detectives were searching the city for Charles Blair. He was reading the morning paper at home when the phone rang.
Hello?
Hello, Henry.
Charlie, it's you.
Very much me, Henry. How are you feeling?
I'm fine. I forgive you for your joke on me the other night.
Joke? I wasn't joking, Henry. In fact, I called now to ask if you would like an elaborate funeral with flowers or just simple services with no one but your intimate friends present. Oh, but how foolish of me. I forgot you have no friends. So my call was useless. But I'll see you tonight at 8 o'clock sharp. Goodbye, Henry.
Operator. I must trace that call. Please tell me where it was coming from. Yes, I'll wait. Huh? What? The Judson Funeral Parlors? Well, that's in this block. $6 o'clock. Oh, my head's splitting. Are there any aspirins in the house, Miss Dean?
Yes, they're in the medicine cabinet. Shall I get them for you?
No, never mind. I'll get them myself. Tonight I'm supposed to die at 8 o'clock. That's fantastic. Blair can't carry out his plan. Not if I had police protection. I have nothing to be afraid of. Nothing. Here are the aspirins. I'll take a couple of them. Oh, my head's splitting. No, maybe they're poison. That's right. They do look too large for aspirins. They are poison. Got to be on my guard. Death may come in 100 different ways. Got to be on my toes. Oh, my headache. That's nothing. I won't take any aspirins.
Dinner's ready, Mr. Norton.
No, I'm not hungry.
Oh, but you must eat. You haven't eaten all day. How about a little broth? It'll warm you up.
All right, yes, I do feel cold. Can't seem to get warmed
Well, I'll
up.
get it for you.
Why, she's so anxious for me to eat. She doesn't like me. She never showed any concern about me before.
Here it is, Mr. Norton. Would you like some croutons with it?
No, nothing else. Something's wrong. This broth, it has a peculiar bitter taste.
It's just some spice I put in.
You're lying, Miss Dean.
Lying? Why should I be lying?
You're trying to poison me. Blair's put you up to this, but I'm too smart for the both of you. He'll never get me that way.
You're crazy, Mr. Norton. I've put up with plenty from you, but I've had enough. I'm leaving. You're a hard, mean man. I wanted to tell you that for a long time, and if anybody wants to poison you, he must have good reasons.
Get out, you Borgia.
I'm going. You can get yourself a new housekeeper.
Good riddance. You tried to poison me. Good thing I didn't swallow it. Huh? Who's there?
It's the police.
Oh, just a second. Police. Oh, it's about time you got here.
You're Henry Norton?
Yes, of course I am. Come in.
I'm Officer Gibson, Mr. Norton. I was sent to act as your bodyguard. I was told someone's trying to kill you.
Yes, 8 o'clock tonight.
You don't say. Even told you the exact time.
What precinct did you say you came from?
I didn't say. But I'm from the 16th precinct.
Who's your captain?
Captain Donovan, Tom Donovan. Say, what's all this about?
I just want to make sure you're a real policeman.
What do I look like, a fireman?
I've just got to make sure. You got any credentials?
Why, of course I have. Here's my identification card, and here's my badge.
I guess you're okay. I've got to be careful. Blair's promised to kill me at exactly 8 o'clock tonight. He's capable of any trick.
Well, you don't have to worry, Mr. Norton. The chances are that he's just trying to frighten you. But if he's serious, he won't get very far.
You don't know him. He's an inhuman fiend.
Well, I'll take care of him if he comes.
Say, you don't speak like a policeman. Your English is too good. You were sent here by Charlie Blair. You're a fake.
I happen to be a college man who became a policeman. Nothing strange about that, is there? Why don't you call the precinct and make sure?
I will. I'll call him right away. Hello, operator. Give me the 16th Police Precinct station. Hello, 16th Precinct? This is Henry Norton. Did you send an officer named Gibson to my house? Oh, you did? I just wanted to make sure. Thank you. Sorry, you can't be too careful.
Well, that's okay. I understand how you feel.
What time is it?
It's 2 minutes to 8.
Is that the exact time? My watch says 3 minutes to 8.
I checked my watch by radio just an hour ago.
He'll be here. I know it.
I don't think so. No man in his right mind would walk into a trap.
It's 8 o'clock.
Your hall clock is off about a minute. Well, say, you're shaking like a leaf.
Well, I'm frightened.
He certainly put a scare into you.
But what was that noise?
I didn't hear anything.
I'm sure I heard something move.
Oh, it's just your imagination.
Oh, what time is it?
Just 8 o'clock. As a matter of fact, it's a few seconds after 8.
There he is. It's him. He's come.
Stay right here. I'll answer it.
Don't leave me.
No, you stay here. That's funny. No one's at the door. I'll take a look outside.
Hello, Henry.
Charlie, how'd you get here?
You see, Henry? I keep my appointments. I got a boy to ring the bell at exactly 8 o'clock. I've been hiding in your house for hours.
No, don't, Charlie, please. You can have everything. I promise I'll give you back everything I took from you.
In less than a minute, you're going to die.
Help! Gibson, save me!
The door is locked. No one can save you. In a moment, your heart will be ripped apart by a piece of lead. Just one terrific moment of agonizing pain. Then you'll be dead.
Open our door, Norton.
Help! Help, he's going to shoot!
Open the door!
You see? No one can help you now. This torture is only a minute for you, but it was 7 years for me. It's a pity you want so much to live.
Mr. Norton! Mr. Norton! I'm going around to the side door!
Please, Charlie, I'll do anything.
No use crawling, getting on your knees. I'm going to shoot you when I count 3.
No.
1.
No. Help!
2.
Gibson, save me!
What's going on here? Why did you lock me out? And just who are you?
I was playing a joke on my friend.
A joke? You just shot him. Hand over your gun.
Yeah. But I didn't really shoot him. You can see for yourself. I just fired a blank.
Huh? That's why Norton is lying on the floor?
He's just fainted.
We'll see. Keep your hands up.
He wasn't shot. There's no wound. Not a drop of blood anywhere.
That's right.
I only meant to scare him. He's in a deep faint. We had better call the doctor.
So, you only meant to scare him. Well, Norton's dead. You frightened him to death.
This is the mysterious traveler again. Did you enjoy our little trip? Poor Henry Norton. Imagine dying from the noise of a blank cartridge. His nerves were really on edge, weren't they? Oh, well, at least he got a free coffin and tombstone, and he doesn't have to worry anymore about dying. What happened to Charles Blair? Well, he's still in prison, of course, because you don't get away with murder, even when you kill with a blank cartridge. And speaking of murder, I recall another case in which a lovely young girl was able... Oh, you have to get off here. I'm sorry. But I'm sure we'll meet again. I take this same train every week at the same time.
You have heard The Mysterious Traveler, a series of dramas of the strange and terrifying. In tonight's cast were Maurice Tarplin, Santos Ortega, Agnes Young, Ted Jewett, and Neil O'Malley. Original music was played by Paul Taubman. The Mysterious Traveler is written, produced, and directed by Bob Arthur and David Kogan. Listen next week to a tale titled
Invitation to Death.
Another strange and terrifying tale of the mysterious traveler. This program came from New York. Another program of tense and dramatic action follows in just a minute. Stay tuned to the station for Official Detective. Carl Caruso speaking. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.